So the idea is if children's usage of word combinations shows enough productivity as measured by the kind of overlap we see in that word usage, this would suggest that they have rules that are based on more abstract symbols like categories, like noun and verb and auxiliary and negation, as opposed to not. So I just want to walk through a little more specifically what that might look like. So if a child has productive rules based on categories, what's going on is when she's putting together her verb phrase at some level, might surprise is represented as an auxiliary might and a verb surprise because there are clusters in her head of auxiliaries like might and will and would and should and could and can, all together collected under auxiliary. And there's also a verb, which includes surprise and find and adore and dance and stand, right? You have these clusters, you have these categories, those symbols exist. That's what a productive, fully productive representation would look like. This contrasts with other alternatives for how to generate those word combinations. So you might, for example, have a semi-productive rule, right, where some words come from categories and some words don't. So the example here, the might surprise phrase, might be coming from the category of auxiliary, and so the child's representation mentally includes an auxiliary category, but surprise might just be in a word all on its own. It's not collected together with other verbs, right? And so to create might surprise, you take the auxiliary might and add it to the word surprise, right? So that's a semi-productive because only one of your words actually is connected to a category symbol, and semi-productive goes the other way too. You could have might being the individual word because you haven't collected together, say, your auxiliaries under one category, while surprise is part of the category verb, right? So your rule, again, has a word and a category together. That's why it's semi-productive, because only one of these things is a category. The other option is non-productive rules, right? Where you literally are just putting two words together and there's no sort of more abstract level. These are just amalgams that you would memorize directly from the input. Like you heard might surprise, so you say might surprise. So again, thinking about this, there are therefore three options, say, for how a child might generate the sequence might surprise. You can have a fully productive one up there in green where both come from categories, the category auxiliary for might, the category of verb for surprise. You might have semi-productive representation where only one of these words is associated with a category, as we see there in the purple, or you might have non-productive rules where it's really just memorize word sequences like we have there in the orange on the bottom.